Paul, if we could just start by going back a little bit, what are your reflections and thoughts on, or how have you reflected and thought about the performance in the first half last week? How have you addressed that this week? Because we haven't seen it that much, that kind of performance. So anything different?
Not a lot of different to my initial reactions, really. I knew that I'd messed up. I'm going to make loads of mistakes. I don't mind owning it, but picked the wrong team, the wrong shape and that, and the lads just didn't look comfortable enough against a well-drilled team. And in fairness, what could go wrong did go wrong. We've been brilliant at not letting players inside the box to shoot, and I think 1, 2 and a cross, so the majority of their threat came from that. But I think that the lads probably we probably collectively didn't play at our best, and we got punished by a better team. That's the honest truth. And then I thought second half we showed loads of character and resilience, which is great, and the lads didn't give up. And if the overhead kick would have gone in the last minute, that would have been a nice walk to the car after the game. Not to be, but so I respect the lads for that, and I know we're not a million miles away. But yeah, I do reflect more poorly on myself than I do my players, really. So it's a learning curve for me. I thought, because of the changes we sort of were forced upon us behind the scenes, not forced upon us, that's not fair, but obviously we're missing Mendes, and there's a couple of choices I made that I'll keep in-house. But I just thought that still would have been enough, 4-4-2, to be more competitive than that first half. And obviously, as we walked in at half-time, I realised that wasn't the case.
After a game like that, what do you want to hear from your players, and did you hear it? Not necessarily in the dressing room afterwards. I'm just talking about this week. Did you hear the noises?
No, not really. In fairness, I go by reactions. Loads of people talk a good game, so loads of players will, there's loads of good sayings I nearly used then, but loads of players, myself included, when I was a player, if the gaffer asked me a question, I'd probably give him the answer I knew that he wanted. But whereas I just look for reactions, so at half time I just asked them, look, we're better than that, just perform at a level that you can leave respectfully, don't lose the second half and all that. And they didn't. I thought I'm not saying we had all the ball, we didn't. We defended deep, tried on the counter-attack, and there were some really good performances from that. So what I did learn from the game is that if we set them up and they have the information that they need, and use the information that we give them, that we're very competitive. However, if we drop off any of them, then any team can beat us on any given Saturday. And I think it's pretty representative of this league that, I've never sat here and said we're going to win every game comfortably. I know that isn't the case. But I do think the dressing room were hugely disappointed on losing, although pretty pleased with their second half display. So, I've had meetings since. I've had a senior meeting today with the four. I've had team meetings with the group, and we watched the clips back, not like a horror show, but like, this isn't us, and we compare them to other games when we've done different things. So, it's always a constant learning thing. But also, as I do this interview with you now, it seems like quite a long while ago, because we've been prepping for Chesterfield ever since. So, if we win Saturday and you interview me for the next game, I won't be like, after the game we were juggling fire and all that, sort of having a right party. It would just be like, on to the next game. So I think the lads are disappointed with parts of our play, especially first half. There's no disputing that. And we know we have to keep our levels high if you want to win games.
Is it okay if we catch up on some of the injured players? We've got, obviously we know Gethin and Joe are kind of fairly long-term injuries, aren't they? What about Lawrence Maguire? How's he coming along?
Yeah, well, I think Joe's not many weeks away, to be fair, so he's getting close. Lawrence Maguire, he's trained with us for the last 2 days in the squad, so that's good news. So he's sort of catching up, so he's not far off.
Aaron Collins?
Yeah, he's trained all week, his first week of non-contact, so he's back to nutmegging people, which obviously cheers the group up no end. So he's trained all week, so he's in good fettle, so he'll obviously be involved at the weekend.
I suppose a good thing about him is it was an arm injury, so he's fit. There's no issues with his fitness.
Yeah, no, there's still issues with his pathetic little arms, but his actual general fitness and heart and lungs and legs are good. But and he's been able to do loads of shooting drills and ball work, and so in fairness to him, he's just game rusty, really.
Yeah.
That's probably the honest thing with him.
Nathan Thompson.
He trained. He's trained with the group last 2 days as well. So hopefully that continues to get him back up to speed with more games coming thick and fast.
Anyone else that's of concern?
Not concerned. Just the usual sort of dramas. There's a few things that obviously I'll keep in house, but we have a couple of issues.
Chesterfield finally for me, and a side who obviously did well last season. They're doing well again this season. Well managed, experienced manager in the lower leagues. Your thoughts and feelings on Chesterfield and Paul?
Yeah, they've always seemed to be, obviously where I live, seemed to be not a local rival, but I always seem to know how well they're doing. Two of my best mates, or one of my best mates, played from years ago, so I've always sort of followed them. And I love Cookie. I've got a good relationship with Cookie. I know you say he's done well lower league. I think he's done well in every league apart from the Premier League, he's bound to tell you. But I think his teams always play a similar way. They always have a bit of a panache about them. They predominantly, I say this now because someone could have said this about me before my 4-4-2 debacle, but they normally play a 4-2-3-1. They like to control the ball. And I know it'll be a tough place to go. I know they're on the back of results like we are, so it'll be a humdinger where both teams need to get points in the bag. And I honestly think that there isn't many teams I would say this about, but I think they're one of the teams that if you finish above them, you've had a good season. So come the end of play in whatever it is, 8-7 months or whatever, if we finish above them, then I think we've done great. So they're a pretty good flag in the ground. I appreciate they're not top of the league at the moment, and nor are we. But I do think between now and January that the league takes its proper shape. Now the wind is shut and there's a bit of stability in the squads that I can see them kicking on. So it'll be a real tough ask. It will probably be, it will definitely be the hardest away game we've faced so far. So we're going to have to be at our very best to come away with all 3 points. But I do think if I was a neutral, I'd go and watch it because I think it'll be 2 teams, gunning for a win.
Thanks, Paul.
No worries, thank you.
When it comes to fullbacks, they're kind of forgotten on the pitch, aren't they? You don't look at fullback as maybe the glamour spots, but we seem to be talking about fullbacks quite a lot. And with obviously now John out suspended, means you're having to juggle positions again to try and fill those spots.
Yeah, and it also you have to look at it and think, well, have you got a suitable fullback, or do you play with 3 and end up playing with wing backs because we've ironically got more wing backs fit than we have wingers. So that's the other option, and ideally your fullbacks end up playing 40 to 46 games each. And unfortunately for us, of all the positions to get a suspension, John getting one is hugely disappointing. So, wow, I sounded really Norfolk, man. Hugely disappointing. So, so we're obviously going to have to juggle, and we've looked at a couple of different things so far. So we'll go the best way we can at the weekend.
In terms of John, just hugely frustrating for him, just because he's wanting to get a run in the team. He wants to find his feet, doesn't he?
Yeah, and he wants to play games. And in fairness to John, he's come in here to play games. But then, everybody at the football club's desperate to play. But you just want them 3 or 4. Everyone says this to you when they knock on your door. Look, Gabby, if I just have 3 or 4 games, and sometimes you don't get 3 or 4 games. It's a brutal world we live in elite sport. So, but John's beginning to settle in, and in what I would say, in fairness to him, the weekend against Grimsby, we had no problems down this side of the pitch really. So it's a big blow. I feel for him because. I thought it was a foul on Jack as the ball got kicked. I thought Jack got pushed, it went over his head, and then he got involved. And then I think I might be wrong, but it looked a little bit like the player was holding his head. I don't think there was any contact on head, but I can see why the refs give it as a red. I'm not that biased. I thought a yellow was the old classic. If it was a yellow, I think, he's got away with one there. He's a lucky boy. And if it was a red, you think, he's a bit unlucky there. It was a good strong orange, wasn't it, really? So, but it is a blow for him to miss 3 games. He can play midweek in the Cup. So that will keep him a bit, keep the cobwebs off him.
Does he, what's the situation when you get sent off? Does he come and apologise to you? Does he I mean, I assume he's still training with the group and everything.
Yeah, no, we're not. I mean, in the good old days, you'd have probably been fined 6 months' wages and, you know, sent to do some coal extraction and everything. But it's not like that anymore. You know, he's disappointed. He's not as disappointed as me because I'm the most disappointed, obviously. But he's obviously heartbroken, and he's like, yeah, he's down in the dumps. Really, we haven't had a proper conversation about it because we've just got on with it. So, you know, he's trained really well this week, and he's probably frustrated that, you know, when the team gets selected, he knows his name can't go up, which all players, like, as much fun as training is, like the epitome of a professional footballer is playing at 3 o'clock on a Saturday, and that's been taken away from him. So, and in fairness, he's not the only one who'd have got sent off. So, in his career, so I can't be too hypocritical.
Look, I mean, you mentioned the first half performances the other day. You just want to put that to bed, didn't you? I mean, it's not a trend that you guys want to be stuck into.
Nah, and in fairness, like we don't talk about the. I mean, I'm just randomly pulling stuff out of the top of my head here, but we don't talk about the first half at Barrow anymore, do we? It's just gone, isn't it? It's literally chip paper. It sounds awful, and I don't want to be flippant because I'm not flippant, but. Like, if you hang on to all the bad performances and all the bad news and the suspensions and the injuries and the lack of form, you're like a trawler on the, and you know, you're just carrying all this dead weight with you all the time. So look, I was disappointed at the weekend. Like I said, that's on me. It's not on the lads. It's not representative of who we are as a group of players. But after the result's gone and we debrief on the Monday, then it's just like, well, here we go. This is the next game. So we get excited for the next game, and I look forward to watching the lads play. But you just got to, you know, I'm not one of them ones with hindsight too much, but it was a disappointing. Out of all the games we played, that 45 minutes was our worst. And in fairness, we found Grimsby in scintillating form at the same time. So we got punished heavily for that. So hopefully that isn't the case and not a trend. And come April, May time, you know, we won't look back and go, oh, you know, what about the Grimsby game? Like, just there's going to be games, there's going to be anomalies, there's going to be poor performances. Unfortunately, I wish I could sit here and say there won't be, but there will be. And Saturday's eclipsed a belter.
We just spoke to Luke Offord. You know, he's played pretty much everywhere across your back line. How impressed have you been with his versatility and his, I suppose, ability to just go, yes, Gaffer, I'll play there wherever you want me to?
Yeah, he's a good kid. I mean, he wants to take me on at paddle, which I've already explained to him is a bit of a middle-class game for people who don't want to run around. There's a lot of older players at paddle. I'm just putting it out there. I'm just not looking at anyone in the crowd in particular. I'm just saying that although I will give him a game, I'll give him a good cracking. But in fairness to him, and in fairness, and it's not very often I would be this saccharine, but he's come through like the academy at Crewe, and they have produced many good footballers over the years, and he is a good all-round footballer. He gets the game, obviously. He has been. He played centre-half for me last year in a 3, he's played centre-half for me this year in a 2 and been pretty formidable with Jack, and then he's played full-back for me as well, and every time, I mean, we make a bit of a joke about it, but sort of every week I go, I need to have a word, and I'll be like, what is it, Gaffer? I need you to play left wing. I don't yet. And he'd be like, yeah, okay, as long as I'm playing, I'm happy. So he's very low maintenance or needy or what does this mean about this position? Look, mate, just get a shirt and give it everything you've got, and he's a true leader in that respect. So I've got a lot of time for him. He's been essential to virtually everything we've done since we've got here.
That's one, thanks, Paul.
No worries.